Prince Harry has now left the court premises in London after giving evidence in his legal battle against the British tabloids. Harry said, and I quote, "On a national level, at the moment, our country is judged globally by the state of our press and our government, both of which I believe are at rock bottom." He added, "Democracy falls when your press fails to scrutinize and hold the government accountable and instead choose to get into bed with them so that they can ensure the status quo." He remembered his mother's death and said that the royal family is portrayed as villains and it damages a young man like him just for a good story. Prince Harry launched a fierce attack on the press and blamed it for destroying his adolescence and later relationships. And Sanjay Suri is joining us live from London. Sanjay, yesterday was the Houdini Act. Today he showed up in court. What more details can you get for us?
Well, there were two sides to the testimony that he offered. First was a written statement, all of 49 pages, more than 25,000 words, alleging, as you were just reporting, that the press and the British government both have hit rock bottom, saying that the press is failing to play its role of a watchdog. And he has made several other statements through the course of the written submission, some rather odd. One of these was about James Hewitt, and again a lot of the tabloids had been reporting a relationship between James Hewitt and his mother, Princess Diana. He says that there were allegations that in fact Prince Harry was James Hewitt's son, but that these were not true because he learnt only in 2014 that his mother met Hewitt after he was born. So really what he is saying is that whatever may have happened between Hewitt and Diana, he's not a product of it. This kind of limited clarification is certain to be awkward for King Charles and for Buckingham Palace. And there are a number of other allegations he made through the course of that written submission. But beyond that, he presented himself for cross-examination, and that continued at some length. There were several statements he made, and he was challenged in great detail by the Mirror lawyer.
Right. And Sanjay, at the same time, I'm trying to understand what Harry's been saying in court, because at one point, both him and his wife have been saying that they've been targeted by the press here in Britain. There was that entire racism storm when they were getting married and after Meghan Markle was expecting her first child. Now it seems he's making a political attack at the government and talking about, you know, the relationship between the government and the press. Is there a confused messaging coming out from Prince Harry? Because while he's targeting the British press, he himself, through his book and his Netflix documentary, has thrown a lot of mud at his own family.
Well, it's not necessarily confused to the extent that he has a grouse against the media. The difficulty here is that his grouse against the media, or his genuine complaint, and many people will see this as a genuine concern about intrusion, but that is not the issue here. That can be his sentimental view, it can be his moral view even, but that is not the legal issue. The legal issue is a specific, pointed and necessarily limited one, whether he has evidence that the stories published in the Mirror arose as a result of phone hacking. His argument is more by inference that some conversations that were private between him and his friends, interactions in school, with his former girlfriend Chelsea Davy, could only have been obtained through hacking. The Mirror says that some of the information about Chelsea Davy came through her uncle, and he disputes that. But the question therefore is, then where does this information come from? He says, Harry says that, well, then the Mirror journalists should testify. They have not been summoned to do so, and in the absence of that, it is his allegation versus the defense of the Mirror group, which itself at one level was quite extraordinary, because one defense was that these stories had already been carried by other newspapers. So Mirror suggesting that it was not through hacking, but through lifting stories from other newspapers. So Harry is not the only one offering extraordinary submissions.
Right. And my final question, Sanjay, when it comes to the laws in Britain, the libel laws are very strong in Britain. Does Harry run the risk of being countersued?
Not as a result of submissions in the court, because submissions in the court are not subject to libel action. People can make accusations and offer defense through the course of a trial, and that is not open to libel action. But clearly the case here is against the Mirror Group. Mirror is seeking to defend its position. If it manages to do so successfully and gets vindication from the court, it's not likely that it can then sue Prince Harry, and certainly the palace is not going to sue him. They traditionally never say anything in public about matters like this at all, never mind then going to court. So that certainly is not an issue. The issue really is what is happening already in the court, and the libel action that you are suggesting is possible is in fact taking place already.
Right. Thank you, Sanjay, for getting us the latest as Harry, ends up in another legal tussle at the end of the day. And in this case, he's waging war against the British tabloids. But at the same time, this entire circus continues around Prince Harry and his family that continues to escalate all the way from America, now in the United Kingdom. Now he's gaining a lot of hate because of this as well. Once the beloved Prince of Britain, now he finds himself in the middle of a media firestorm.